Hi everyone, I'm Tandy Gutierrez and welcome to your monthly tarot reading on the Unicorn Wellness Project for May. I can't believe it's May. So are you really excited as the seasons change and time transitions? But May is kind of my favorite month because it's my birthday. And then right after it always is Mother's Day. So in the United States, birthday and Mother's Day, that's a pretty good double whammy in my house. So happy May. Let's see what the cards have to offer us this month as a collective, okay? So please remember that it's a general reading, right? Not everything in the layout is going to resonate absolutely crystal clear for you. But the goal is always to listen with open hearts and open ears so that you're on the lookout for your signs, symbols, and omens, and whatever resonates and rings true for you. That's always the way it goes, right? If there's something that's helpful, something that's useful, you totally needed to hear that, like, yes, that's the point. Okay, I always meditate beforehand. I always say a little prayer and ask that my guides and guardians send messages really clearly and directly so that I can give you all the messages to help on our path, right? Cards are this beautiful way of connecting, a beautiful way of kind of organizing thoughts and emotions and things that are going on. It's very systematic. Personally, I find it very comforting. And it can always be useful. And if it's not, don't worry about it, right? Take the beauty out of it, take the love out of it, leave the rest, okay? So our monthly reading is a 7-card spread, okay? I'll lay them all out, and then as we do the reading, I'll pick them up one at a time to show you what they are. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. I do use other decks, but this one's just so beautiful and I think such a fit for the Unicorn Wellness Project. Okay, here we go. Well, it's a batch of beautiful cards already. These are really batch of beautiful cards. Okay? So, the collective energy of the month and kind of where you're starting from, but the theme that's gonna, blanket all of May is rising up. So, 6 of Wands matches my nail polish today. This rising up card is so stunning and beautiful because it is this rising up of becoming a butterfly. So no more ground crawler, no more uncomfortable transitions of being in that cocoon and struggling out and waiting and working and literally toiling in your own darkness. Now is the time to fly. So it's coming up out of the brambles and out of the dark and starting to really literally spread your wings. Blue being that 5th chakra of the throat, of speaking your truth, of being clear and being open about what you think and what you feel, and really flying free with it. 6 is, typically a temporary opportunity, so some sort of opportunity or opportunities in May with this rising up. Wands are the courage and the bravery and the fieriness of the tarot, so it's, like out of the fires, out of the dark, be brave, rise up, spread your wings, show everybody who you really are. That's great. And what a beautiful springtime. March 20th is the beginning of spring, but I don't know, May is still spring and I still feel like it's even springier, like it's in full, charge now. Beautiful. Things to leave behind, Ace of Wands. So Ace is a beginning. It's the starting of something. And again, this Wands, this fiery, this tends to be kind of the I am, the beginning of an idea that you are wanting to manifest or that you're going to manifest. And so in this monthly spread, it's saying that this is something to leave. Leave that it's new and that it's just burgeoning. it's time. It's like, look how it's glowing, you know, like leave the infancy stage. And again, that plays directly off of the energy of the month being to rise up, and that rebirth and that metamorphosis of leave behind the very beginnings. Meaning that you're into this path, and you're into this energy, and you're into what's coming. I'm getting a very clear sense out of these cards. There's something wonderful coming that you've put the time and the work into. Hence the butterfly. And Ace of Wands is that, like, that new idea, and it blossoms, right? Because it's got the little flowers out of it, and it's glowing, it's super bright, but this is still the beginning. So it says to leave the beginnings behind, and I'm really getting a sense of just let it expand. Like, let those blossoms get as big as they can, and if they're big enough, they can't get any bigger, let the energy and the glow of them just like do their magic and do their work. Let the energy from whatever new beginning, whatever idea, whatever new project this is, it's got, it's blooming. So let it just kind of roll. Actually, I hear like ocean roll. Like, let it roll, let it go. Leave it. Like, leave your beginning stages and go towards the bigger stages of things. What to learn? I love this card too. Learn to be the fool. Learn to be constructively naive. Beginner's luck is a beautiful thing. And only beginners have luck, right? So it's hard once you're no longer a beginner to, I think, sometimes to remember that miracles happen, things come out of the blue, good things support you. I mean, that's the whole thing with divine spirit and the universe, is that you have to have faith, right? The divine spirit, the universe, God, guardian angels, like your higher self, whatever you want to call it, however you want to connect to it, is always in support of you. So being the fool is very good. This is brand new beginnings, brand new ideas, and it plays off of this, like, it's said to leave being brand new so that you let it roll and let it grow and let it swell. That's what we were trying to get to. But to really learn to be fresh and to be newly born, right? Little spring chicks, like, they're so fluffy and so sweet and just spunky and perky, and like, they're brand new. They got everything to learn, and they don't fear anything because they're brand new. And that's what I'm getting out of this, is that, like, learn that there's nothing to fear. When you have put the work in the toiling and the struggle and the hard and the dark and the hiding and the hermiting and the praying and the work in, you become a butterfly, then you can leave the very infancy stages of things, of ideas and fresh starts, but remember and learn to keep that childlike wonder and that constructive naivete that allows for miracles and manifestations to come through. That's nice. And then what will you receive in this month? Balance. So Two of Pentacles can mean a lot of things. Sometimes it can be a little warning. Hang on. Are things in balance? Have you got your work and play in tandem? Do you have your, spirituality, your spiritual ritual, and like your connection to spirit in balance with life, workhorse, to-do list, actual doing? Because you can, ask for wishes and want manifestations. If you're not doing the earthly doing, they don't tend to come. You got to do some of the work. Sometimes that work is internal and emotional, and sometimes it's just, doing the spiritual work of your self-evaluation and checking in and your meditation. And sometimes it's getting on the mat and fueling with good food and hydrating. But if you're not in balance of these things, you can't. I'm getting like a real clear sense of manifestation from these two. So the thing to receive is balance. And again, the butterfly. So we've got, the double whammy of butterflies, which is just stunning, that flying free. And also getting a real sense of the things that you let go and you go, I don't know what they're going to be. I don't know where that's going. I don't know if that's coming back or not, or there's going to be a return on that. You always give, not to get. You know, you give to give. And so I'm getting a real sense of, you know, when you let go of your love, if it never came back to you, it wasn't yours in the first place, that you've got to trust this month in that letting go, that because you let go and you let God, that the return comes back. And because you're open and willing, and that zeros, you know, that opening stage, that naivete, that fresh start, like your eyeballs just opened. You know, that the things can come through because you're open. And so you've got this double whammy of balance and butterflies and rising up and letting go of it just starting, meaning you need to swell into growth, whatever this idea, whatever this project was. And you may have been sitting on this project for a really long time too, but it still felt like, it's just not growing. And the thing to learn is that you had to kind of wipe the slate clean internally and be new again in your heart and in your spirit to allow the growth and the swell and the newness and the balance and the return and the reward. This just makes me smile. It's just got this beautiful, sunny energy about it. What are the assets you're bringing into May? 9 of Wands. Okay, so 9 is like karmic endings, cyclical endings. There's an ending of some kind, and if you're into the astrology and you follow it, like, yeah, we just closed out some big stuff, which is awesome, because that means that, like, we're done with these lessons. We've either learned them and we've, you know, gone up the staircase to another level. But the assets that you're bringing in is that there were these cyclical endings that were kind of behind the scenes, like you couldn't even really do anything about it, you just had to get through it. But the fact is that you've put your work in step after step, you just kept climbing the stairs. Like, maybe you took a rest on one of them for like a really long time, but you didn't walk downstairs and you didn't just stop. Like, you may have needed to rest and reevaluate and refuel, and you may have been pissed off and tired. And then you got back up and you kept walking up those stairs. So there's this like clear sense of persistence, and the assets that you're bringing into May with all of this hopefulness and potential balance is that you just didn't quit. And so that stubbornness, constructive stubbornness of there was a goal, there is a goal you very clearly want, you just keep walking after it, no matter how long it takes. I mean, like some of the astrological closures, they happened really in April, but these were like 10-year-long things. So long. Like, we're in such a new, shiny space right now. And then your cards are reflecting that. Obstacles. So, you know, there's nothing that's just a clear shot. There's always obstacles, and there's always lessons, and there's always things to go, what can I watch out for? So we've got a lot of this good, like, fiery energy, because you've got the 9 of Wands, you've got the 6 of Wands, you've got the Ace of Wands, and now we've got the Son of Wands, of things that could be obstacles and things to look out for. So Son of Wands goes in with it's parallel to the Knight of Wands in the traditional tarot deck. So this is like, you know, I get like hot-headed, fiery knights that just go, like, they are warriors, like, you know, they just go in and they're gonna win at all costs, right? Because they want it, because they've got the drive, because they've got the fire, because they're brave and they're fearless. I'm getting a little careless fearless. So you clearly have your eye on the prize for something, right? And there's so much of this like bright, fiery energy here. But I'm getting that the warning is stubbornness, that the obstacles are potentially like too much fire, that like you're going to set yourself aflame kind of thing. Which is interesting because, you know, April is the month of Aries, really. And that ushering in of spring brings us into Aries, and that's the fire, but the I am, you know, it's manifestation time. And I can say all these things about Aries because I have a son who's Aries and Aries rising, and they're amazing, but they're also little cuckoo bands that you got to watch out that you don't burn everything down in the process. So the obstacles this month is really that, you know, don't get too stubborn about the wants and wishes of the month. And that the focus, like, you've got it, like that night running in, and you've got this like victory at all costs kind of thing, Like, you don't want it at all costs. You still want to try to keep the balance. Fire is gorgeous for cooking and for heat and for warmth and for steam. So you just have to keep this in check. And I just keep hearing stubbornness. Don't get too stubborn. It's an obstacle. And again, no path is completely free of obstacles. So that's not a bad one. That's a stop, pause, take a breath, think, and calm down, and then move on. As far as obstacles go, that's not a terrible one. You just don't want to get in your own way. So that, the snakes are transformation, willingness to evolve. They're constantly shedding their skin. But this snake is in striking mode, right? Like, this one's a little like, if I saw it, I'd be backing up and running, but keeping my eye on it, like, running backwards. So it's got that, like, don't spit venom at yourself. Don't be your own obstacle. Don't be so stubborn that you're poisoning yourself. I don't know where that came from. That was for somebody. Okay. I'm also getting, it doesn't mean that you're wrong. Like, when you're stubborn, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. You may just be pushing too hard. It's not time to, you don't need to push that hard. You need to keep an open heart and keep it a little light, a little warm, a little fuzzy, and let the miracles come in. I think there's just been a sense of that you've been having to do everything on your own for so long that when the opportunity for help and for assistance and for some abundance and for some relief comes in a really fun, lovely way, you just may be so not used to it that you get really stuck and stubborn in things. And that would just be a shame. That would just be a really, wasted past opportunity that it's not necessary. So just take a breath. It's okay. It's okay. You've been doing your work. Like, you got to your butterfly. That's hard. It's uncomfortable. You have to, every caterpillar thinks it's dying. So this transition is hard. Like, it's okay. Take care of you. The outcome. So Two of Swords is a fascinating card. And again, each reading brings a new, what is it within this reading? Two of Swords traditionally is blocked visions. But in the traditional card, it's a woman with a blindfold on, and she's sitting holding two swords. And it's one of my most favorite cards because it's such this goddess warrior ninja. I don't even have to see what's going on. All I do is have to be in deep meditation, connected to spirit. I can feel and sense when and if I need to strike. I don't even need to see it coming. So it is a waiting card. It's a patience card. Two is definitely patience. And I think that there's so much good energy that outcome is a little interesting, but it's still balanced. Like, you've got the two and the two. The receiving card is the Two of Pentacles, right? And it's totally flanked and balanced by the Two of Swords. So Pentacles to me is also like this, well, it's earthly, it's karmic, like what we reap, we sow, what we make, we will get in return if it's in good faith and good effort, right? Like, you don't want to do for the direct receive, but if you're doing it because you love it and you're making and you're giving and you're espousing and you're really doing what you love, then it's gonna come back. Maybe it takes 10 years, 9 years, but it will, okay? And so it's balanced by this outcome of two, which is also patience and balance. And the patience and the balance in all of this is that you can not be brand new. I mean, to me, this is a very wise card. This is a very wise woman. Like, you don't get to be a Zen master warrior who doesn't even have to look at things, being in the beginning stages, right? You have to be wise and regal and really connected and really dropped into your intuition and to your intellect, right? You got to feel it, but it is about feeling it. And so sometimes I find that when you feel so much, your vision gets a little fuzzy and blocked, because sometimes it's overwhelming, the messages and the things that come in, that you're like, I don't even know how I feel. There's just so many feels. It's a very Pisces energy. So the outcome of this month is interesting. It's poised, it's calm, it's really, really deep, and it's patient, and it's ready. And it requires all of your deepest connections of intuition and self-love and self-confidence. because you don't even need to see it. You know. So you can just sit in waiting. It's interesting because you've got all this bright, shiny, like, cheeky, like, swelling balance and butterflies and, like, this consistency with a word of caution and warning of stubbornness at your own demise. But not anything major like, but just, you could just be tripping on your own shoelaces because you're being stubborn. And then with this final outcome of the Two of Swords. But I also often see it as like, you're aiming at the right thing. It's very strong. It's very patient. It's very wise. And it's really about timing. Like, everything is set in motion. Now you're just going to have to sit until the timing's right. And when the timing's right, you're going to know it. And you're going to be ready to strike. And you don't even have to, like, waste the time to blink because you got a blindfold on. You just got to do it. That's exciting. So I love doing your readings because they're so exciting. The Unicorn Wellness Project brings such beautiful, lovely, strong, gorgeous energy that's exciting in the world. So happy May. And maybe head over to Facebook and leave me some messages about how May unfolds for you. I think this is an especially beautiful layout for the month. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I wish you all the very best this month, and I will see you next month.